So we began our journey into this new year from a place of inner stillness and silence. And that is the intention today, to return to that place of calm, the place of the observer, the place of the true self, the soul, the real core of who you are, and allowing ourselves to be guided from that space. And it is important to take the time every day to pause, to stop, for however long you do that, 5 minutes, 10 minutes or longer, making the time to return to yourself and foster a relationship with you. As the year begins, we get the opportunity to set an intention for our year, to do our New Year's resolutions, to create a pathway for ourselves across time and space to get to wherever it is that we are choosing now to go. And I find that it is helpful to be guided by our inner compass, by the place within us that knows why we are here and who we are. I often speak of the wisdom found in nature as a guiding light for myself. If you look at a seed, everything that is needed is within the seed and its interaction with the environment to make it become what it's here to be. A palm tree cannot be an oak tree. It's a palm tree. And it finds its guidance from the inner design within the seed itself. Just as the seed of a palm tree, so is there a seed within you. A seed that dictates and guides you deep inside the core of your being, of your heart. Deep in the place of silence and stillness arises a wisdom that guides you through the thickest and thin. The wisdom that guides the universe resides within you, within all of us really. And so today we will be working on, getting to know that inner space. I wanted to mention something in reference to resolutions, New Year resolutions. And wanted to share an experiment that I did with myself. One thing I've been working on, it's going back to yoga. I love yoga. And on the 10th year anniversary of my graduating from yoga teacher training this month or next month, I thought, okay, I'm going to do 108 sun salutations, which are positions as a way of saluting the sun. And so I began January 1st, doing 108 sun salutations. At some point during the process, I asked myself, why am I really doing this? And I saw the different reasons behind it. And I thought none of them really came from this place of inner wisdom. And I'm not saying that out of self-judgment. It's more out of self-observation as to question, why do you do the things you do? And so I thought, why am I really doing this? And when I arrived to the answer, it wasn't coming from the deepest place within me, so I stopped. And I have a mantra that I say to myself a lot, which is finish what you start. And I think it's one of the first times that I stopped and I didn't finish it. And when I stopped, I, sat down and connected with myself again. And I said, okay, why are we doing the things we are doing? And I thought this is a great opportunity to bring this teaching to class. Why do we do the things we do? Why are you making those resolutions? Is the reasoning in alignment with who you truly are and who you are now choosing to be in this next moment in time? And if it isn't, question it. Right? So then the answer that came for me in doing the 108 sun salutations was in being, not doing. And there was something that I've been wanting to talk about in upcoming classes, but I figure I give it in little pieces here. When we are being, we are living from our heart. We are extending the radiance of our soul aspect of our deepest self. We are fully present with what is. We are not thinking about the future moment. We are not judging the moment. We're not trying to make the moment perfect. We are fully engaged with the whole self. And it sounds harder than what it is, really. It's being present with your breath, being here. Not in the next moment, but here. And so I found myself when I was doing the poses thinking about the next step, thinking about the next pose, thinking about doing it right. All this pressure for no reason at all. And then the irony of it is that yoga is the teaching of bringing the body, mind, and spirit as one, because the word itself means yoke, to combine, to bring together. And so then I stopped and I reconnected, with my breath and with that quiet inner space of being. And then it became different. And then it became effortless. And then it became like being in the water, flowing and allowing the next moment to be guided by this space of beingness, of silence, of presence. And so I thought that was the teaching in that. Whatever I choose to do this year, it's not about the doing, it's about the being. Who am I being with what I am doing? If I, for example, decide to take ceramic classes, something that I've been thinking about when COVID comes down. If I take ceramic classes, where am I coming from with that choice? Is it to make particular vases or plates, or is it really to be for the experience of being alive as I am moving the clay, as I am experiencing the colors and the variations and the shapes? Is it for the dance and the joy of the dance? Or is it for the doing, the accomplishing, the achieving? And I'm sharing this personal journey as a way of illustrating how we can question the reasonings behind what we do, the things we do. So that as we create a list of New Year's resolutions, we really get to complete them because they come from a place of being self-guided, from a place of inner wisdom, not only from the mind or from the body, but from the depth of the whole being, right? And so coming back to the 108 yoga poses, sun salutations, it really was about being with the sun and being with the new day and being with the sunrise and the sunset. And when I returned to the deepest intention behind the action, then the action unfolded in alignment with my soul and spirit. Then I am in alignment with the whole universe. Because then my action is an offering to the greater good of myself and of the universe. And so as we return to silence, as we return to stillness, we can make more space of connection with this true self. We can practice what it feels like to be connected to the truth of who we are. And in that practice, be guided, self-guided. by the same force that pushes the seed to grow from the ground onto the sky, reaching towards the light. That same force is within you, guiding you to become whatever you are meant to be, that only you can be on earth. I often mention this, there are no duplicates, not even twins. There's only one of you. So you were made for a reason, just like the palm tree and the oak tree. They exist for a purpose, and so do you have a purpose. And so if I align with the deepest space of inner guidance, then every action that I do is in alignment with who I am truly supposed to be, who I truly am. Make sense? So let's find a comfortable position and we'll begin our meditation early on today. And I invite you to consider show up with no expectation. Show up as you are. Meet yourself in silence and stillness. And let that discovery be effortless. An effortless getting to know you, so that the deepest intentions of your soul and your being may show up. So we may hear the inklings of this part of ourselves and be guided from there. Perhaps I also invite you to have the intention to receive from this part of you an intention for this year. What does this deepest part of you wish to birth onto this new year? Wish to share onto this new year? So let's explore that together. Okay. So please find a comfortable position, either sitting or laying down. Finding a comfortable position. If we are sitting, allowing our body to find comfort in this posture. If we are laying, allowing the body to rest as it remains awake. And observing the breath. Observing yourself in this moment as you sit or lay. Letting go of the expectations or the awareness of what is next. Allowing yourself to settle. Noticing the body resting. And scanning any areas of discomfort or heaviness. Can I surrender and relax this area? And feeling the environment around you supporting you in this moment. The quiet, the stillness. Letting everything that is here be as it is. Letting go of all effort or pushing against. Allowing the thoughts to be what they are. Simply observing them like clouds. And breathing and being. allowing the length of the exhale to be long and deep, as if you could let go of all that you've been carrying through the exhale. Noticing as if the breath started at the crown of the head and extended all the way through the toes. Allowing yourself to inhale and like a gentle wave through the exhale, release and surrender. Noticing the crown of the head relaxing. In the forehead and eyes. Relaxing the face and the jaw and tongue. Relaxing the ears and the back of the head and the neck and shoulders. Relaxing the arms and the chest and belly. Relaxing the sides of the body and the legs and feet. Allowing the ground to support you, the air around you to support you. And sensing the energy within your being as you breathe. Sensing the part of you observing you in this moment. Noticing the space between thoughts and the space between sounds. Letting go as you look deeply into the space between thoughts and the space between sounds, and allow yourself to surrender to the silence. Perhaps sensing yourself sitting in front of the ocean, just around sunrise or sunset. Noticing the gentle waves, the soothing rise and fall of the waves. And letting go into the silence. Surrendering to the silence between thoughts, between sounds. Sensing the body deeply calm. Observing the waves and the quietness that surrounds you now. And sensing your higher, wiser self within you. That part of you observing you in this moment, breathe. Allowing that part of you to be here with you now. As you sense the silence, as you allow yourself to let go and surrender, to be fully present in the now. And asking this higher, wiser self within you, what is your intention for me for this year? What is the next step for me in my growth, in my life? Sense as if that wise self was sitting in front of you now. Speaking to you gently. Letting yourself receive peace from this part of you. Receive healing and guidance from this wise part of you. As you sit in front of the ocean and notice the silence and stillness around you. And becoming aware of the way the breath flows in and out of the body. The deep calm within you as you sense yourself fully present in this moment. Enveloped in the quiet and silence and stillness of your being. The effortlessness that resides within you in this moment. And gently beginning to allow the body to return completely to the now. Noticing the toes and the fingers. Noticing the belly rising and falling as you breathe. And beginning to gently open the eyes completely now. And sensing that deep calm and stillness within you. As you transition now back into the present moment. And either prepare to go to sleep or continue with your day. Bethany, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much. And to your point about how you just said, like, go to sleep, I fell asleep and I didn't mean to, and I wasn't even tired, but I guess my question is, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time I fall asleep, because I don't, but I guess what is it that just kind of puts you like in that trance? Or is that okay to fall asleep?
If I may answer, it is completely and absolutely okay, especially when you are being guided in meditation. You will be woken up. I've been teaching meditation for over 20 years. I think it's been that long. And I've had many of my students fall asleep. And what I've noticed is that sometimes the body needs to find rest because the mind has been going too fast, or there's been a lot going on, or for many various reasons. Allow what shows up. Part of the beautiful teaching of meditation is to allow what shows up to be here with non-judgment and full presence and a sense of welcoming. And what I've noticed in my own particular work with meditation is that when we fall asleep, it is our soul kind of taking us on a deeper journey of receiving, and sometimes you'll come back with a deeper sense of awareness. You'll come back with a deeper sense of like an answer. Sometimes you'll come back with a sense of, oh, that's what that means. Or, oh, so it's, remember, we're connecting here with the higher, wiser self. And essentially you are being absorbed by that aspect of you as we're doing these sessions. The way I teach, that's kind of this particular journey was with that intention to help this wiser aspect of you kind of take over and guide you a little bit more. And so I've noticed that sometimes that's normal, that you'll fall asleep. That, and also it might be that you just needed to rest and your body said, you know what, she's calm. Let me let me take over and have her fall asleep. So there's many reasons for that. What I invite you to consider is, one, don't judge it, welcome it, and two, maybe journal, write about it. After it happens, why did it happen? There might be a pattern as to when it occurs. And then you begin to work with your own body and your own consciousness in the evolution of the journeys ahead.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Good to see you back. Thank you. I think Jessica was next and then Cece.
Morning.
Good morning.
Um, well, in the meditation, just had a question. Um, the, I felt the presence of my white self in front of me, and I was handed like two, like cold, heavy stones, like balls, like circular, and then um, the one on the right hand looked kind of like Earth, and the one on the left was, I think they said Mars. I felt like it was Mars, and then I just was wondering what that meant because I didn't really.
Okay, so one, I invite you to journal write more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the planet Mars has to do with action. And well, it has to do with many things, but one of them is action. It's also how we direct our energy, how we guide our energy. Earth usually has to do with grounding and centeredness and a sense of inner stability. Just speaking out of what the universal meaning of some of these planets can mean to you. But I would invite you first to journal write about it. Right after a meditation, what occurs, particularly a higher self, wiser self meditation like this one, is that we're already tapped in there. And so we want to continue to, that's why I encourage you to journal write right after the journey, so that you access deeper information as to why is my own self giving me this as a tool? Why is this symbol coming up? So I do find that the higher, wiser self also keeps in mind, particularly when we do this in groups, that we're all doing it together. Like, for example, it might know, oh, Ana Maria, has some information about astrology. So maybe, there's something that she may want to add about that. And there actually is. So, and I can always, text you more information about that to you in particular, what that might be like. But I really encourage you first for you to find it, for you to find the answer. The more that you cultivate this sense of, I already know, and the deepest part of me knows, the closer you can get to this higher, wiser self within you that truly is guiding you, which is really what we're working with here. What else came up for you in your journey?
Well, then Mars started orbiting around Earth, and then said to use your time wisely, like you said, and more than ever, like work on inner self, like meditate more often and stuff like that. Keep grounded.
Yes.
And then the magenta color showed at the end a lot. Yeah.
So let me invite you with this. You've mentioned the magenta color in other classes. Go back to what you've written about the magenta color. See, this is why I encourage you to journal write, because then you'll find, oh, whenever the magenta color comes up, it might be this guide, or it might be this teacher that shows up for me, or it might be this part of my wiser aspect self. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you want to keep it going.
Notes.
Keep the journaling. Yes. My intention is to continue these classes on Sundays, so that I know that your lives get busy and you might not do the once a day kind of thing, even though I invite you to consider doing that. I find that it's easier to do it either in the morning or in the evening because you're still in your bed. So even if it's just 5 minutes extra in bed, or 5 minutes a little before you normally go to bed, would make a difference in you beginning to foster this connection with this deeper, wiser self within you. And it might just be just stopping for 5-10 minutes a day and breathing, and noticing myself breathing, and having the intention as I inhale to receive that connection with my wiser self. So take heed of what you were told by your higher, wiser self about time.
Okay.
About time. And after journal writing, you're welcome to email me or text me if you have any other questions, and I'll guide you with that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome, sweetie. Cece.
Hi, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Well, and as always, all your meditations, they're always connect to everything that's going on with me every week. And that this is not different. Actually, there are three particular things that you talk about being. The word that came to me from my higher self was for this year, well-being.
Powerful. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And there was some images that came, which was ceramics, like you. It's in my list.
Let me tell you, if I find a class, I'll let you guys know, because
Please,
but yeah, totally.
please.
Mhm.
Painting, as I used to paint before. Writing, obviously, and being in nature. I saw planting and things like this. But most strongly, it was like the strong smell of paint, but not paint when I'm painting a canvas. It was like a house. When you enter in a new house, it was very strong. I mean, it was overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. So you see when you're saying that, how there's additional information wanting to come out, because I know you could feel that. So go back and journal, write about that, because there is more information about that.
And to me, what it came to my mind is the new could be the new year, new things, but I think was more related to a house, to moving, to change.
Correct. Good job. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a change there.
Yeah.
The other particular thing that you were saying about the sleeping, it was interesting because last night I fell asleep. I don't remember immediately. So my partner said that we were talking and suddenly my voice was disappear and I slept. I don't even have conscience of this. And I slept like a stone, which normally not, because I wake up with every single noise. I'm connected to everything. And this morning I woke up and I had over an hour meditation about the New Year's, what I need to do, and images and releases and many things. So the sleep again that you were talking, I believe, with the previous speaker. I don't understand the deep sleep. I can only think that I travel somewhere and I was learning or doing something, and that's why it pushed me to meditate for over an hour.
Wow, powerful.
Very. I have never had this experience of such a deep sleep, ever.
I'm glad to hear it. Good. Thank you for sharing, Cece.
Thank you.
Celeste? Celeste?
Hi. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Good morning and
Good
happy
morning.
New Year.
Good morning.
So in my case, I felt like waves through my body, like moving, like rocking.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like floating on the ocean. Then I went up like very fast and I was on top, like looking at Earth. I was on looking. It was very interesting because it was like I was looking Earth and my community and everything, even work, in another perspective from what I've been looking at. I'm assuming it's that, like, to see another way. I will journal about that. And then the words that were kept coming in and I could not, like they were telling me, was compassion and wisdom. And then patience at one time, but it kept going, compassion, wisdom, like those two. And first I was like, okay, towards people, but I think it was more towards me.
Correct.
With and but it was a very calm. And then I went like flying through like a straight, like, but very fast, but I didn't get like anywhere. I end up at the beach again, but I was going like very fast, like straight, like towards like it was like a hole kind of thing. I didn't understand that, but
If I may add, I find extremely important what you mentioned about compassion and wisdom. In some of the meditation teachings that I've had myself and that I've received myself, wisdom and compassion come up a lot. Compassion being the path of the heart, and wisdom being the path of the mind. So often how I speak about having an open mind, an open heart, based on the quote from the Dalai Lama, having an open heart and an open mind. A sense of open-mindedness, a sense of a welcoming mind, a sense of a mind that has space for the new, that makes space for the new, allows wisdom to arise from it. The same thing with compassion. I particularly love the word generosity, and it's a word that I've been using a bit more than compassion, because generosity brings this consciousness of sharing love, sharing presence, sharing space, sharing silence with someone. And there is this sense of an equal give and take. And so maybe consider a word like that as well, and write about what does compassion mean to me? What does wisdom mean to me? You know, why those particular words are showing up for me, with the guidance of your own higher self and guides, to go a little bit deeper into that. But I think that they're also wanting me to speak a bit about those two things. So compassion, you know, the exploration of how can I have an open heart, a forgiving heart, a heart that is generous in its love and its presence and its caring and its kindness. And sometimes it's easier than others, you know, and perhaps a gift of being given words that resonate for us is working with mantra, for example. And I'll be mentioning this in future classes about mantra, which essentially means prayer in the way I take it on. And it's saying a particular word that resonates and brings forth that invitation of this deeper, wiser self to come up. You know, that when I hear the word wisdom, that this part of me remembers what wisdom is, and that I own that frequency and share that frequency and become that part of myself more. But it's seeds of consciousness, you know, that words can serve for us. You know, when I hear the word compassion, what does that mean to me? When I hear the word wisdom, what does that mean to me? And how may I let that show up? You know, so makes sense?
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks.
Who else would like to share? Come on. Everybody's being brave today. Love that. Hi, Katrina. Magical girl.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, very interesting meditation. I've loved it. It was beautiful, very calming. And the messages that I got was bring back laughter, joy, happiness, peace, and community. The community was very prominent word as well. Also the word relocation.
I think they're telling you to come to Miami, Katrina.
Oh, I love my Miami. Oh.
I'm just kidding. Come down here. Come to the city of palms.
You never know. Life is full of surprises. Oh my goodness. And also I heard it was like be prepared. Be prepared for the unexpected.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that was like for me or for the class, but
I actually think some of what you're saying, it's for all of us, if I may, if that's okay to say.
yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but just to add, when you said community and joy, those were two things that I was also mentioned to bring up to class. So I'm so glad that you're bringing it up now. To explore joy and explore community. And this is, again, just little seeds that all of us are kind of putting in for the rest of the year. And remember, the meditation itself was on what are we intending on creating, and what are we intending on, kind of what the path looks like ahead of us.
Mhm.
And then how can we be happy again and return to happiness again? And what does happiness mean? This morning on, my morning walk, I saw that somebody had placed 3 swings on trees nearby. And of course, I don't know who those swings belong to, but I went to sit on one of them and I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I kept like just swinging like a little kid. And finding the opportunities for joy when you encounter them. I had to do it quick because, who knows who it belonged to. but it's finding the joy in the journey, and finding a sense of community, I think will be so important, particularly this year as we hopefully begin to shift the energy around COVID, and finding and restoring our sense of community is key. I mean, I'm certainly going to be working on that. So, and I'll invite us all to work on that together as we go through. Beside, I know that you're far away physically, but also building community in circles like this, like I'm doing now in this class. That's why I encourage you to share your experience with us, so that you are heard and you are also part of this group, and those that might hear, later, and benefit each other in that way.
Absolutely. I agree. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. Was there anything else you wanted to add? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's it. Just one thing. It was during the holidays, it was a store and it had white carriage inside the store. You know, one of those Cinderella carriages.
Yes.
It was. So guess what? I decided to go and sit in it because I was so joyful.
Exactly. Do it for the joy. Do it for the joy. Oh, I love it.
I was like 10 years old again, just beaming, just sitting in there.
That's so
You
fun.
know,
That's exactly how I felt with the swing too. I was like, oh my God, I can't leave. I just kept
Yes, just for the joy of it. That's
for the
it.
joy of it.
Yeah, you feel so alive and so connected to all that is that
Mhm.
moment. Is only you and nobody else.
Yes.
That's how full is the feeling. And I said, well, why can't we have this feeling all the time? It's available to us. It's just waiting for us to connect.
This is why we help each other to remember. To
Mm.
remember. That's what that person did by putting those swings there. There were 3 different swings on 3 different trees around. And I was like, okay, so maybe they want everybody to play with them, I assumed.
Mhm.
And of course I said, well, worst case scenario, they'll come tell me something. I could take it. So I went, I sat on one and I just stayed for a little bit, and for the joy of it. I'm glad
See?
you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
To
fun.
let our inner child play. I don't particularly love this word of inner child. I know a lot of people use it, but to me, it's a part of you. It's still you. That's still there.
Mhm.
That self that wants to play, that part of you that wants to draw and to paint and to dance and
That's the
to do
part
all the
that's
things.
always young.
Yes.
And we forget about that
Yes.
little beautiful soul because we grow up and we have responsibilities and we have to do this and we forget to laugh.
No.
No?
Let's play. This week. Let that be our homework this week. Play.
Hallelujah. I'm going to be
Yes.
doing my homework for
Yes, for sure.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sweet. Anybody else would like to share anything else before we switch? Oh, Danielle, hi.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, so the same themes of happiness and joy and all that has been coming up with me too. But I think one thing that I wanted to kind of talk about, just not only for myself, but for class as well, is resistance and how that can block happiness, and why it happens. So I don't know that we have the time to go into it as a discussion now, but I wanted to bring that up.
Please, if I may, bring it up in our next class. I would love to explore that, but let me address it now a bit, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So in any moment in time, you have a choice. That's number one. That's the way out. You know, if you think of like a door that leads you out, that's your way out. Choice. You have a choice. So at the moment when you encounter resistance, there are two choices. I can continue to resist and hold tight, or I can open. It's two choices. And how do we begin to shift it is gently and kindly begin to open it up. Begin to notice that there's a choice. Begin to notice, I feel resistant. How can I relax that resistance? And look to the way out. And doing that will lead you out. That would be one. Two, come back to the feeling place. I often notice with resistance, it depends what you mean by resistance. Sometimes it's mental resistance, physical resistance, emotional resistance. And that the most important thing that I've noticed with that is don't judge it. Let go of judging it. Let it be what it is. You know, let it be what it is. Sometimes you'll just be grumpy. That's okay. You know, I forgot what it was the other day when I was just grumpy and I was just like, meh. It was grumpy. I'm like, okay, so I'm grumpy. I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up in a better mood. You know, it's all right. Let it be all right. Let it be okay. You know, be more gentle, be more kind, be soft, be willing to give yourself the opportunity to arise to a new moment differently. Just give the opportunity. Sometimes you'll take the opportunity and sometimes you won't. You know, but allow yourself to have the door, the escape route. You know, be willing. Be willing. That would be number one. Try that this week and then let us know next week how it goes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you spoke. Welcome back. And hi to your mommy.
You. Tell her
Thank you. All right, you guys. So I am grateful for all of you having been here today on this first Sunday of the year. How exciting, right? It's so beautiful to notice the hope that begins the year for us. I often compare it to the moment that you're noticing the sun rise from, you know, into a new day. This is a new beginning. Can I allow that feeling to continue with me through this year? Can I continue this sense of newness and an opportunity to begin again? What do I want to create this year? What brings me joy? What brings me a sense of community? What brings a sense of aliveness back to me? Choose. Choose to start again and again and again. Every moment anew. This is your one life. As we heard from Jessica, how do you want to use your time on earth? Use it wisely. That is the one thing we can never get back. When I mentioned earlier about coming to the 10th year anniversary of my yoga training, I thought, oh my God, 10 years have passed. I was such a different person then. You know, and I've learned so much about life and about myself since then, and the opportunities that lay ahead, the journey ahead. Can I enjoy it? You know, and value the time that is here. Value the time that you have. Can't go back. Can't change the past. But you can learn from it. You can learn from it by creating the life that you choose now. It's not about the things or about the events or about the people. It's about who you're choosing to be from moment to moment. Choose joy, choose peace. Choose to be who you really are underneath the grumpiness or the resistance. Remember who you are. You're magic. And with that said, Miss Katrina will close our session today.
No, seriously, you know, you guys, I wish you a magical new year, literally a magical with sparkles and beauty.
And unicorns.
Why not? And fairies. nice.
Fairies.
That's my intention. I want to meet those fairies pretty soon.
Yeah, you let them know. You let me know. I bet they hang out with the unicorns.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh, have a lovely week, you guys.
Magical year, new year to to all of us, and many, many hugs and blessings to each and every one of you. Love you so much, all of you.
We love you too.
Happy
Thank
New
you so
Year.
much. Happy New Year, everybody. See you next
Bye.
week. Bye.
Thank you.